Since late 1994, several new residents have taken their places in the Masaki home. Among them was Jirai Ayeka, Princess of the Empire of Jirai and one-time heir to the throne. Descended from the imperial bloodline of the extraterrestrial world, she held closely to the traditions of her people. Wearing an intricately woven kimono of the finest silk in the galaxy, her violet hair tied into two tails reaching to her ankles, her speech proper and erudite, her poise impeccable. None could question her lineage or her education. After a particular happenstance left her yacht wrecked at the bottom of the nearby lake, Ayeka has come to reside on Earth, as well as develop deep feelings for the young man, Masaki Tenchi. For a while, she kept her distance from him, due to her station in life, though when his true lineage was revealed, her affections became more overt. Moreover, as he was Yosho's grandson, she pleaded with him to take his own birthright, to become emperor himself. Her feelings only escalated when she was taken by the usurper Kagato and later saved from his blade by Tenchi. In the aftermath of the coup d'etat, the princess restored order to her planet, but pleaded to Tenchi one last time to take his place among the royal family. To her heartbreak, he chose to deny the throne, to leave her. Months passed as she wrestled with herself, her responsibilities to her planet grappled with her true desire to be with Tenchi again. In time, she too decided that the throne was not where she belonged. In a long letter, she explained herself to the Holy Council of Jirai, instructing them to waive her right of succession, instead placing her great-uncle upon the throne. She flew as quickly as she could back to Earth, and once more took up residence with the object of her affections. Today, Princess Ayeka stood in the kitchen of the Masaki home, stirring vegetables around the hot oil of a wok. While she excelled in rhetoric and history, she wanted to be useful to the household, even if her cooking was not superb. Thankfully, she had an excellent teacher. At her side stood her younger sister Sasami. Azure hair framed the girl's cherub-like face as she oversaw her siblings' cooking. Being 12 years Ayeka's junior, Sasami was spared much of the other princesses' stressful grooming for the throne, leaving her much more time to focus on her own interests. While only 9 years of age, the younger child of the royal family had a substantial culinary talent and had become the de facto chef of the household. Notably, she had a curious birthmark on her forehead, two identical green triangles, mirror images of one another. Between the two long pigtails tied on either side of Sasami's head sat a curious brown-furred creature. The cute animal had a puffball tail and long lop ears like a rabbit, and she would pounce and raise her hackles as a cat would. Termed a cabot by Washu, she also possessed a crimson gemstone embedded into her forehead. Named Ryo-Oki, the petite animal was sentient, though still very much a child in many ways. Naturally, she and Sasami became fast friends, and nearly constant companions after Sasami's arrival nearly 3 years ago. As Sasami watched Ayeka stir the wok today, Sasami instructed, "Turn the heat down a bit. You don't want to overcook anything." "All right," the violet-tressed princess answered as she adjusted the burner's regulator. "How's that?" "That's fine," her sister replied with a bright smile. Ryo-Oki mewed happily to concur. The role reversal was not lost on Ayeka, having her younger sibling teach her food preparation, and she did feel a bit embarrassed. However, she appreciated the change. Considering both of them were from another world, a more advanced culture, Terran academics lagged significantly behind Jirayan studies. While the sisters had numerous recorded lectures and textbook files, learning from a book did not have the same quality as interacting with another person. Ayeka had convinced Washu to help teach Sasami about the sciences, which at times seemed like a dubious proposition. But the arts and humanities had fallen to the elder sister. Thus far, the arrangement did well for Sasami's academic growth, and it also kept the siblings close. "Have you read that passage from the Holy Chronicle, as I asked?" Ayeka asked. Glancing to the side, Sasami answered, "Not just yet." "Well, don't forget about it. Empress Hachi had many insights into the early formation of the empire." With a heavy sigh, the azure-haired girl replied, I will. "And you'd best be ready for the arithmetic quiz tomorrow," Washu's voice called from the doorway. Both princesses turned to see Washu wandering into the kitchen, a translucent laptop floating before her. The genius's fingers danced on the illusory keyboard as she absently stole a pea pod from the cutting board and popped it into her mouth. "I'll study after dinner, I promise," Sasami swore. With a grin, Washu shook her head and said, "I wouldn't worry too much. Something important came up. Mind if I borrow your sister?" The sisters exchanged a glance before Sasami, disappointed, agreed. "Sure." Ryuoki mewed sadly as Ayeka reassured her sibling, "I'll make it up to you, Sasami." The elder princess and the scientist stepped into the den and stood near the love seat and the couch. The morning rays of the sun entered through the sliding glass door opposite the room's seating. Irritated, Ayeka folded her arms as she addressed the minute researcher. "I had hoped to spend the afternoon with Sasami. What is so important?" Gravely, Washu explained, "I detected a vessel in Earth's orbit, an Archelian battle cruiser." "Archelian?" the violet-tressed woman inquired. "Why would they send a military ship here?" "That's what I hoped you could tell me. I intercepted a transmission stating that they would destroy the planet if they did not obtain the galaxy." "Destroy the Earth?" the taller lady exclaimed. "Whatever would they want so badly?" "I did some searching in the SA databases, and apparently the galaxy is just that, a galaxy, but miniaturized to the size of a jewel. As such, it serves as an excellent source of subatomic energy, the stars acting like billions of fusion reactors in concert. Archelia has kept the underlying technology hidden for centuries, even from their allies." "So, are they likely wanting to preserve their secrets?" Ayeka reasoned. "I would expect so," Washu agreed. "Still, destroying an inhabited planet is hardly condoned by the space peace," the princess argued. "True," the scientist acknowledged, "but considering the threat that an enemy might pose with such a potent energy source, it could be worth blowing up a remote planet like this one, inhabited or not." "Yet, if this galaxy is so pivotal, why not keep it in their own domain?" "How about we go ask them?" Washu offered. "Doesn't Jirai have some relations with Archelia?" "Yes," Ayeka replied, "though not very deep ties. I believe I met an Archelian duke once during a party some years ago, but many dignitaries attend gala events." "Do you think you could convince them to turn around and leave?" "I could try," Ayeka said, "though if they are willing to destroy a planet over this artifact, they may not be open to diplomacy. Have you contacted Kione and Mahoshi? This would seem to be in their jurisdiction." As resident officers of the Galaxy Police for the Sol system, Detectives Makibi Kione and Kurimitsu Mahoshi had the responsibility to protect and serve those in the area near Earth. However, converting their GU currency into the Terran equivalent, via gold or other precious materials, yielded insufficient funds for the cost of living on Earth. Consequently, both had to maintain terrestrial jobs to supplement their income. Thankfully, the remoteness of Earth meant that their GP calls tended to be minor or insignificant, leaving them time to moonlight elsewhere. However, Kane's escape a year ago destroyed the GP headquarters, leaving the organization crippled and almost leaderless. As a result, both Kione and Mahoshi had been far busier and more often away, helping their brethren rebuild from the disaster. "Tried," Washu stated, "but it didn't reach either one of them. They are likely off-world, and, as much disarray as the GP is in these days, I wouldn't rely on calling any other officers." "I could ask for aid from Jirai," Ayeka suggested. "No, I have a contingency plan," the researcher said, glancing toward the nearby staircase, "provided we can get her out of bed."